everybody, it's Tyrene.
And I'm Ron.
And tonight we are going to discuss the topic, what if you go to God for all of your issues and challenges that you may have with your spouse versus letting others enter into your marriage. So, at one point or another, either you or the spouse, the husband or the wife may have felt or feel like they're the one doing all of the investing in the marriage. They're giving their all. They're not letting others intrude while they feel like the spouse may be, right? So, what happens is you get into this blame game where you're giving your all into the relationship, you're investing your all, but you feel like they're not. Because maybe that spouse feels comfortable with going to a girlfriend to talk about some of the issues that she's having with you in the marriage. And the problem with that is that girlfriend may not have any experience, haven't had a stable relationship, or just has no real knowledge of how a wife should be in their relationship. So, women, it's important that if you're feeling some kind of way about your spouse, that you go to him and share that information because marriage is based on love and honesty. And the last thing you want to do is indirectly lie to your spouse by not coming to them with how you're feeling and allowing your friends opinion and kind of insert them their way into your marriage because whether you think about it or not, whether you believe it or not, what you're hearing may have something to do with how you're reacting in your marriage.
Yeah, and for guys, we say that we're going to go out with the fellas and get a drink. That's actually a form of counseling. It really is, but it's also a form of letting others in as well. You're venting, you're talking to your homeboys, and more times than not, you're probably saying something negative about your spouse. This is not what God intends. This is not what God blesses. All right. These are those things with the others. Unless you're sitting down, talking to another married group of happy men, okay, then you're wrong.
Right. And so when we think about others, there's some other things, right? So even like with in-laws, I know that that sometimes can be an issue with other people because you respectfully, want to, talk to your in-laws and, talk to your parents about some things that may be going on. But the problem is if you share everything and you allow them to form an opinion about how that situation should have acted or how that spouse should have responded in that situation, they may hold on to that. So meanwhile, you and your spouse talk about it, you're over it, and then weeks later you go to a family barbecue and guess who's still mad at you? Your in-law.
Your whole family that you
Mm-hmm.
done told about this rotten, no good, ain't did nothing, such and such. You done told these people about 5, 10 bad things about your marriage and about your relationship and about your spouse. But what you didn't do was tell them how you got over it, how you reconciled, how y'all worked through it, and how understanding your spouse was to a miscommunication. So,
Exactly.
what you shouldn't do is one, tell all the negative, and then have to turn around, then turn to positive. Just limit to the information you put out.
Exactly.
Again, there's nothing wrong with venting,
Mm-hmm.
but don't open that door for others to get in.
Right. And others can also come into the form of your work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Children, finances. Prime example, sometimes you have to say no. So we all like to make a little bit of money, right?
Yeah,
But
some of that overtime.
right. But if the boss comes to you on a regular basis, hey, I need you to work an extra 10 hours. I need you to extra work 15 hours. Your mindset is saying, okay, that's more money that I can bring in the house. But you know what? If you're not going to your spouse to kind of talk that out, then you're allowing others to invade in that relationship. Because while that person may be looking at it as an opportunity to earn money, the other person may be feeling like, well, I sacrificed this week and I told my boss no that I wasn't going to make work overtime hours so I can spend time with them. So you have to set boundaries,
Yeah.
right? You have to set boundaries so that there's a balance between who you talk to, who you tell your business to, between, spending extra time outside the house. There's
Yeah.
boundaries that need to be provided. And if you feel like communicating with your spouse about these issues is not working, that's where prayer life comes into play. Yeah, it's really important to take what it is that you feel like is not working into your marriage, working in your marriage to God for prayer and
Yeah.
trust that He will intervene and work that situation out.
Yeah. And just as a side caveat, like going back to the job and things like that, fellas, yeah, I get, it's hard to turn down easy money. Well, let me go ahead and get this overtime because, we think we're doing it in the betterment for our families and for our wives.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'll say this and then I'll move on from it. Make people respect your time,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Showing loyalty to your wife, showing loyalty to your family in front of your boss shows your boss that you can then be loyal to him because he knows where you value your time at. So your boss consistently asking you for overtime, you say, boss, I would, but I can't. My wife and I have this time carved out for each other.
Right.
That's going to make him look at you a different way and actually make you more valuable to him because he knows where your loyalty is and where your priorities are.
The bottom line is forsaking all others.
Yeah.
You guys know that that's a part of the vows that we take when we marry one another, and that's a
Mhm.
big deal. Forsaking all others. And
Mhm.
I'm just going to reiterate, others are your girlfriends who you know have no business giving you advice. Others can be the way that you handle the finances in the home and letting them intervene with how you and your husband interact. Others could be people taking you outside of the house like your boss. Or back to your girlfriends, your guys that you hang out
Yeah.
with, wanting you to spend more time outside of the house instead of making your home, making your spouse the priority.
Yeah, and let's go a little deeper to those out there that have blended families.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those stepkids, those are second. They
Yeah,
are. You know, the husband comes into the new marriage with some kids. The wife comes into the new marriage with some kids. We still have a tendency to have that default to that's my child.
uh-huh.
But what your default should be when you're married is that's my spouse.
And my spouse is the
And my
priority.
spouse is the priority. Yes, yes, and I'm saying it clear. Over your kid, over your blended family, your spouse is your number one and first priority.
Exactly. So just putting each other first,
Hmm.
right? Not allowing others to intervene, not allowing the others to come into your back door, but instead to shut that back door. Now it's okay to spend time with your girlfriends. It's okay to do a little bit of
It's
overtime.
okay to do a little bit of laughing and joking, like,
Exactly.
man, if we argue one more time,
Mm-hmm.
but don't speak nothing ill, okay? Don't speak nothing that's coming from a place of hate or a place of, man, I don't know if I can take it no more,
Right.
okay? Because those influences aren't going to be able to give you the advice that you need or the encouragement that you need. Okay, but sure, vent. Go out and have a drink, laugh about it. But when it's time to get real help and real information and real advice, seek someone that is going to be an example to you.
Exactly.
Seek us.
We're here for
We're
you.
here.
Yeah. So I guess in conclusion, the bottom line is to say no. Say no to the others. Provide a balance in your marriage. Make sure you understand the boundaries. And most importantly, go to God
Yes.
for everything so that He can intervene on your behalf.
Yes.
Yep. So I guess that's it. Agreed?
Agreed. Agreed.
All right, guys. And just remember, marriage
Marriage works.
works.